This is Ellis with The Verge, and today we're looking at the best styli for your iPad for writing, drawing, scribbling, sketching, or whatever you need to do. We'll be using Paper, new iPad app, to test out these styli, which we found reproduces marks pretty nicely and is a good judge of character for these styli. The first category we're going to launch into is the most populous category of styli, which is the rubber-tipped group. The $24.95 AluPen is by far the most distinctive looking stylus with a round tip, and it looks like one big chunk of aluminum. It feels really nice in your hand. It's weighted well, and there are no seams at all. It is a hexagonal prism, which means it kind of looks like the old Dixon Ticonderoga pencil you used to use in school. The tip is really nice, except for the fact that it kind of drags across the screen as you use it, which is unlike some of the other round tip styli I used, but maybe it's just because I haven't worn it in that much. The $29.99 Bamboo by Wacom is highlighted by 53 in its promotional videos for Paper for a reason, because it's one of the best styli you can buy for your iPad. It's expensive, but it's exceptionally well-rounded as a stylus. It has a removable pen clip, it has a removable tip, it's a very nice length, it has a great weight from back to front, and overall it just works very well. It is a smaller diameter rubber tip than some of the other rubber tip styli I tested, and I actually like it better because it allows you to be more precise when you're writing or drawing. Next up is the Amazon Basic Stylus, which is exactly as it sounds. It's a basic stylus that you can buy from Amazon. It's the cheapest on our list. It's $11, and there's really not much to it. It has a nice enough tip, and it's black plastic body with chrome accents, and there's a little annoying lanyard on the end of it, which we would just rather not have. But besides that, it's pretty decent. We would actually expect this to be a little bit cheaper from Amazon, considering what it is, but it's nice to throw in your pocket. It's cheap. You won't care if you lose it, and it works well enough. The $19.99 stylus from Griffin is really just like the Amazon Basic Stylus, but twice the price. There is a dingy little pen clip on here that's removable, but the build quality of the stylus as a whole isn't very good, and considering it's $20, there's no reason to buy it. The $15 Kensington Virtuoso stylus pen combo is a great deal. It's a lot like the Amazon in terms of performance and the tip, but it's longer. It has a soft touch rubber coating, and when you pop off the cap, it actually exposes a pen. So it's a really nice deal for $15, especially considering the build quality is good and there's a nice ball clip to attach it to your pocket. The Kensington is perfect for a businessman with a tablet. It's just the same length as the ballpoint pen you're accustomed to using. The Kuehl H10 at $12.95 is also a great deal and at half the size. It has a textured grip that I like, and the tip is the real standout feature here because it's about the same diameter as the Bamboo, except it actually has a little nib inside of it so that when you press it down on the screen, you can actually feel the stylus making contact with the screen. I've read a few places that after a couple weeks, the tip can degrade down a little bit, but from my experience, it worked very well. Another key feature is the top that comes off, and the top is attached to a little string that's attached to a little plastic dongle that you can plug into the headphone jack of your iPhone or iPad. Next is a brief pit stop in the lonely foam-tipped stylus category. The Pogo Sketch Plus is a relic of the old days where styli were ugly and metallic and thin and uncomfortable to hold, and the Pogo Sketch Plus is no different. The tip is made of a conductive foam that you could buy at the local Radio Shack, and it's kind of glued to the tip here in such a way that it smushes down when you use it, and it just isn't very responsive and isn't very comfortable to use, and it just doesn't evoke any sense of quality. It does have a pen clip so you can hold on to it, but at $15 it's not a great deal, doesn't stand out in any way, and it's the only stylus with a foam tip, which is not good. In stark contrast is the Studio Neat Cosmonaut, which is a big dry erase marker type stylus that uses the same rubber tip as the first category, but this time the rubber tip is embedded, which means there's nothing to poke or lose or smush down, And the Cosmonaut has a great tip because of that. It doesn't compress as much as any of the ones in the first category. The Cosmonaut is very overt about its capabilities as a stylus. It's not trying to do too much. It's not trying to let you write in cursive on your screen. It's really just for sketching, doing some casual drawing, writing, diagramming. It's really great for kids, adults, the elderly. It's super easy to use. It's kind of like an extension of your finger, and it's kind of a no-brainer, and it's really durable, so nothing's going to happen to this thing. It's $25, which isn't cheap, isn't expensive, but it's really a category unto its own. And finally, we have the Adonit Jot Pro. The Jot Pro by Adonit is unlike any other stylus on the market. It really doesn't look much like a stylus. It looks more like a tool an architect would use. It's really just this long piece of aluminum with a soft touch rubber grip that culminates in this pointy end, and the end touches this little plastic disc that somehow conducts electricity through the screen. And because it's a clear plastic disc, you can actually see more precisely than any other stylus where you're writing. So I think this is the most precise stylus you can get, but the plastic discs are fragile. They're going to cost you $8 for a pair of 2 of them to replace it. And it's, it looks fragile, but it looks very sturdy. One other cool thing about the Jot Pro is that it uses magnets just like your smart cover to attach to the side of your iPad and stay there, so your Jot doesn't roll off the table, or if you just want to put your iPad under your arm and walk around with the Jot Pro attached to it. And it's cool. It's generally pretty reliable. It doesn't fall off, and even if you have a smart cover on, it will generally stay put. One thing to note about the Jot Pro is that it's really not great for sketching, simply because when you're sketching, you're picking up your pen, you're putting it down very quickly, and because the Jot Pro connects with your screen with a little piece of plastic, there's actually an audible tapping, almost like you're tapping your fingernail on the screen every time you pick up and put down the stylus. To sum it up, none of these styli are perfect. I wouldn't even say any of them are stellar, because the fact is it's just not that pleasurable of an experience to be writing on a piece of glass, no matter what instrument you're using. That's why this is designed with your finger in mind, because that's really the only thing that feels natural on the screen. But if you want to do some note-taking or drawing, there are some pretty great options. So our all-around winner is the Wacom Bamboo with its understated modern look. And it really hits all the right points no matter what you're doing, but there are some options that excel in other categories. So if you're doing mostly writing, which I'm not really sure why you'd want to be doing a ton of writing on your iPad, but if you are, the Jot Pro is unbeatable because it is the most precise and it will mark the screen almost exactly where you think it's going to. As far as diagramming or writing some flashcards or notes, the Cosmonaut is very easy to use. It feels nice in your hand, and just about anybody can pick it up and use it. And it's also just good for browsing your iPad. As far as quick scribbling goes, the SGP Cule H10 at under $15 is just about perfect. You're not going to be doing any extended drawing or scribbling or note-taking on there, but considering it attaches to the headphone jack on your iPhone or iPad, you won't lose it. It's small, the tip is nice, and the textured grip means you won't drop it.